Hebrews 11:6 again. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. You got to be diligent in this. Just like you're diligent in whatever it is that you're going to do in this world. A lot of people, they diligent for whatever they can do in the world. But when it comes down to the truth, oh, I'll catch up with you some other time. How many people out in heard say, I'll be there. I'm coming. Oh, you ain't coming. I'll be there. And they didn't come. Just lying. I'm coming. I'll be there. That one flyer you got is not going to save you. It's so much understanding that we have to get. And even we that are reviewing this over and over again. There's so many topics, so many things that we got to learn just to be showing ourselves approval to the Most High. You got to believe that he is, though. You asking for something, but you don't believe it's going to happen. So what's the point of you asking? How is that faith? Verse 1 defines faith. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for. You desire something, the evidence of things not seen. You don't have it. You don't have it. Therefore, you ask him, the Most High, about Shem, Mashiach for it. You got to believe that you're going to receive it. You got to believe that you have it. So you're crazy to the average person, but you got to speak it. Because you know you ask, it's going to happen. How many things have I seen happen in my life that I said, this is what's going to happen? And it happened not only with me, with others that was with me. We said, this is what we're going to do. Having faith to believe that what we believed in was going to happen, and it happened. Why? Because of faith. Because of faith, believing in him. But if you don't have faith, then you could tell too, because you could tell people whenever they be like, oh no, but that but is a real key word. Not and, but. They say, but. Uh-oh, you hear that? Watch out. Here come the excuses. Here come the unfaithful. Galatians, the 6th chapter. And Galatians 6 and 14. No, let me read verse 7. Galatians 6 and 7 first. Be not deceived. Don't be fooled. Don't let nobody lie to you. The Most High is not mocked, but he's going to mock you if you don't believe in him. The Most High is not mocked, though. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So whatever you sow, whatever you do, you're going to get a reward for it, or you're going to be punished for it. Whatever you do, you're going to get a reward for it, you're going to be punished for it. Now, look at, we'll start at verse 11. Galatians 6 and 11. So ye see how large a letter I have written unto you with mine own hand, Paul is saying. As many as desire to make a fair show in the flesh, they constrain you to be circumcised, only lest they should suffer persecution for the cross of the Mashiach Yahushua. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. They say, for neither they themselves who are circumcised keep the law. And it's talking about, like the ones that's from Israel, Peter and all of them, and the apostles, those that were raised and knew of Mashiach Yahushua, they were considered circumcision. And Paul would be considered the uncircumcision outside from being born in Israel and around the Mashiach Yahushua. That's why they were saying, hey, he belonged to us. And we seen one casting out devils out there. They wasn't rolling with our camp. They was out there casting out devils by Shem Yahushua, by Shem Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of Jesus, or whatever name they was using. However they was doing, Mashiach Yahushua said they're not against us, they're for our part, point blank. But we can't see that because We trying to be somebody in this damn wicked world. And that's wrong. You know, we reading about the world. He said the world gonna be new heavens, new earth. What you see now is just temporary. This is nothing. So don't glory in your flesh. We ain't nothing. You look at all the names that the Most High called us. We all bear that burden. Ain't nobody without it. Who on this can hear my voice can say they know they going to the kingdom? They already got their seat on the chariot, waiting for them. It's already reserved with their name on it. If not, Shemaiah, Shequat, be quiet. And humble yourself before the Most High. Humble you. That's real. Verse 14, but the Most High forbid that I should glory. Look what he said. Most High forbid that I should glory, say in the cross of our power of Mashiach Yahushua, by whom the world is crucified unto me, and I unto the world. You know, gave his life to the world of Israel to bring forth Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua, and to suffer for Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua, and to bring forth the resurrection of a Mashiach Yahushua. That the whole world would know the power that the Most High has given us through Hamashiach Yahushua, which coming from the Most High. What more power can you have than the power that's coming from Him? You looking for power? You have spiritual power. We have spiritual power. He said, you're as gods. The Most High called us gods. What are we? We just got to go by what it is that He says do to please Him. That's it. Just please the Most High. Do what He says. He got rules and regulations. You ain't mocking the Most High. You mocking yourself. He just said He laughing at you up on his throne that's big as the universe. Heaven is my throne. So He sit up there big as the universe laughing at you. That's what He's doing. Look at Deuteronomy 15:15. This is a commandment. Now we're going to the law. Let's see what the law says. It's commanded that we be humility. With humility. Roll with humility. And be humble. Deuteronomy 15:15. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman, a slave man in the land of Egypt. And the Most High thy power redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, if He say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because He loveth thee and thine house, because He is well with thee, then thou shalt take in all and trust it through His ear. This is someone that want to remain as what we will call an indigent servant. But He's saying you got to humble yourself, because this man, let's go up verse 12 so you know to get the whole story. And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. So the 7th year, if he still served you 6 years, then the 7th year he can leave. Right? It says, and when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. You're supposed to give him something to continue his life. So don't let him go without anything. It says, thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith the Most High thy power hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. And the reason why He's saying this, because it's, and thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt. Who was a slave in the land of Egypt. It wasn't all that then. That's what He's saying. You're going to remember where you came from. That's what He's saying. Humble yourself. Remember where you came from. You was a slave to the Egyptian. Them Hamites. He said, and thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman. Let me read verse 14. Because He said, don't send away empty. Then he says, thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, and of that wherewith the Most High thy power hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. Got to help him. Giving him some flock, some wine, some vegetables, things that he could make it with. Part of his livestock. Said, thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Most High thy power redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee. If you don't want to leave, because he loveth thee in thine house, because he is well with thee, he's doing well in being with you, working for you. After his 7th year comes to be, then thou shalt take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. Put an earring in his ear. And also unto thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. If she want to remain, put that all in her ear. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee, in serving thee 6 years. And the Most High thy power shall bless thee in all that thou doest, and following what he say do. Just got to do what he say do. And don't be high-minded. So the Most High bless you. That's what happens. People get blessed. Next thing you know, they high-minded as ever. They think they're better than everybody else. Look at Deuteronomy 5 and 12. Say, keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the Most High thy power hath commanded thee. That's the 7th day of the week. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. Deuteronomy 5 and 13, Deuteronomy 5 and 14. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle, nor thy strangers that are within thy gates, that the manservant and thy maidservant may rest as well as thou. It's a day of rest. And remember, this is very key, which is why I'm coming here. And remember that thou was a servant in the land of Egypt. You was a slave in the land of Egypt. And that the Most High, through a Mashiach Yahushua, thy power, brought thee out thence through a mighty hand. And that mighty hand is a Mashiach Yahushua. And by a stretched out arm, therefore the Most High thy power commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day. That's right. Proverbs 25 and 6. And I went there to show you that when he said, remember where you came from, you was humbled then. It's like we was humble when we was in shackles and chains in this land of America. We was humble before the Most High. Wasn't nobody all prideful then. He put the worst of the heathen on us, to humble us. Proverbs 25. And 6. It says, put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand out in the place of great men. See? But some people think that they can do the same. They can do whatever they want to do just because they have remembered some scriptures. Humble yourself. Most High said, put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand out in the place of great men. For better it is that it be said unto thee, come up hither, they invite you up, than that thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince whom thine eyes have seen. He put you down. He humble you before everyone. It says, go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof. You're going to know what to do, he said, when thy neighbor have put thee to shame, because you didn't humble yourself before great men. This world's so prideful now, everybody's the same. No matter what position they have, they feel everybody's the same. No respect for the elderly. Some of you young brothers, you ain't even lived long enough to be able to realize what it takes to live after your age. Remember this. Every year has at least 365 days. You start multiplying those years times 365 days of Esau's world. And every day, just like you lived every day, an elderly person has to live and make it through that day. For all the crises that you see, and it was worse back in the day than it is now. So you have it pretty easy. They didn't, went through a lot for you to just disregard the struggle to even educate yourself, to even learn how to read. Better recognize. Because the Most High recognize. Proverbs 27:2. It's commanded to be humility. To be humble. To have humility. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth. A stranger, and not thine own lips. See? Let somebody else praise you. Even a stranger. Let it come out of his mouth and not out of your mouth. Proverbs 30 and 32. Oh yeah, we going into it tonight. If thou hast done foolishly and lifted up thyself, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. And don't say nothing. That's what he's saying. Because remember, things come about from a thought to saying something to an action, right? From a thought to saying something to an action. That's how it works. So that's what it's telling us. Don't let no evil come about. Don't let it come from your mouth. That's beautiful. Proverbs 30:32 again. If thou hast done foolishly and lifted up thyself, being conceited, being prideful, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Lay your hand upon your mouth so you won't be speaking it. It won't become a reality. You won't apply that evil that you thought. Say, lay your hand on your mouth. So you don't speak it, so you don't go out there into the atmosphere, to the air, and the power of this world, pick it up. Them little birdies pick it up and take it somewhere. Next thing you know, you all jacked up. Ecclesiastes 5:2. Ecclesiastes 5:2. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before the Most High. For the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Be not rash with thy mouth. You don't be so fast to speak. That's why I say some of you need to learn how to study to be silent, as the scriptures say. Say, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before the Most High. For the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore let thy words be few. Sometimes you got to know when to speak and when not to speak. That's why I say let your words be few. Jeremiah 45. Jeremiah 45. And we're going to look at 4 and 5. Jeremiah 45, 4 and 5. Thus shall thou say unto him, the Most High saith thus, behold, that which I have built will I break down, and that which I have planted I will pluck up, even this whole land. And seekest thou great things for thyself? Seek them not, for behold, I will bring evil upon all flesh, saith the Most High. But thy life will I give unto thee for a prey in all places whither thou goest. So when he say you're going to bring evil, why are you going to bring evil? Because Isaiah 45, because you lift yourself up. You lift yourself up. Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light. Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Most High, do all these things. You know, that's why we got to know the Most High. Most people don't really know the Most High. Look, Amos 3 and 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High have not done it? See, you don't know because you don't know the Most High. Got to know the Most High to realize what he's saying here. Work. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city? That's an alarm. The people not be afraid. Shall there be evil in the city, and the Most High have not done it? Surely the Most High has done it. And he comes back and says, surely the Most High, our power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret, his mysteries, unto his servants, the prophets. And the servants are the children of Israel. He's going to reveal his secrets to the servants, the prophets, the children of Israel. Micah, go to the book of Micah, the 6th chapter. Micah, the 6th chapter. Micah 6 and 8. He has shown thee, O man, what is good, and what does the Most High require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, which is not getting something that you do deserve, and to walk humbly with thy power. What he showed us. The Most High's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it? His voice is crying in many cities right now, all over the world. The man of wisdom, they're going to see his name and identify him as such. More than just a word that the Europeans created by the name of God, which is dog spelled backwards. They put it in your face, it's just you got to really look at what they're doing. That's why we got to be humble. That's what he looks upon as righteousness before him. Look at, go to Matthew the 18th chapter. A good scenario to a Mashiach Yahushua giving us understanding. How, and these are examples of how it's commanded us to be humble. Matthew the 18th chapter, first verse. At the same time came the disciples unto a Mashiach Yahushua saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? They want to know, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And the Mashiach Yahushua called a little child unto him. Not a kid, but a little child unto him. An Israelite child. And set him in the midst of them. He set him in the midst of them. A little child. Little Israelite child. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So you got to become as a little child. Why he say that? Because a child is innocent. A child is like a sponge. A little child is trying to observe how to live, how to get along with people, how, children, I remember we got to fighting. Next thing you know, we playing again. All right, it's all right. But adults don't do that. Adults don't want to talk to you forever for something that's being said that they're offended on. You don't even know they're offended. But a child, that's why I say to enter to the kingdom of heaven, you got to be like a child. Then he says, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. See? There it is. Because a child is humble. He's not all high-minded and, you have those that are now. You have children that come on the earth now that are like that, but it wasn't, it's not supposed to be that way. It's really not supposed to be that way, y'all. It is what it is, but the Most High didn't make them, the righteous to be that way. And we're not supposed to be that way. No way, shape, or form, but we're in a wicked world. So this is what we're looking at has happened in our world. But we do have, I see some crazy things, on the internet that should not be there. It just pop up, you're like, what? Little children, hardly no clothes on, just bumping and grinding like you swear they was, look like they couldn't be no more than 6, 7 years old. That's the other side. He ain't grabbed no child like that. He didn't grab that kind of child. That's not the kind of child he's talking about. He's talking about one that's been nurtured in this truth. And will look at that and shake their head and say, that's wicked. Wicked, wicked, wicked. He's not talking about those of such. Don't get it twisted. People got to change. They got to really, really change and change their ways totally, because this world jacked up. It's just messed up all the way around. All the way around. That right there, seeing, glancing at that, like, wow, man, the parents need to be, they talking about child abuse. The parents need to be brought up on charges for some crap like that, man. And then you wonder why the little children raping each other and doing all the things they're doing. You promoting it right there. It's right there in promotion. As we look and we see. And the Most High say, women going to bring forth monsters. So that's not the kind of child he brought to him to sit in his lap amongst him. He bring one that's spiritually endowed with his truth and understand what it is that needs to be known to be examples for other children. I mean, anytime he's going to take a child and say, you got to be like a child, then where we at? Really, where we at in this day and time? And then they was like, kind of like boasting themselves, like probably talking to themselves, who's the greatest? Who's going to be the greatest? They're looking for him to say, well, you're going to be the greatest. Or you're going to be the greatest. No, he said, hey, you got to be like a little child. You got to humble yourself and be like this little child. Can you do that? Or you're going to be all high-minded thinking that you somebody. And he end up falling into or being thrown, I might say, into the lake of fire, not falling into it. You be thrown into the lake of fire. Can you imagine that? The angels just picking people up and you in line. Next. They go up there, the judgment of Mashiach Abishai, open up the books, and your name not written in the book of life. Lake of fire. Then they pick you up and just, you see people getting thrown in the lake of fire, hollering and screaming. You ever been burned? You've been burned. That's a terrible feeling to be burned. Remember, it's going to be a burning where the worm's not going to die and the fire's not quenched. Thrown in the lake of fire, that means you're going to continually, it ain't like all of a sudden you're going to burn up and you through with it. No. He said the flesh is going to continue to burn and the worm's going to continually eat you up. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Look. Isaiah said it clear. When we go, if it's the Most High will, we make it to the kingdom and we have our Feast of Tabernacles. That's what he said. Isaiah 66:24. He said, and they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worms shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched. See? And they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. We're going to hate this, but it's going to be there. So we're going to hate it, but can't do nothing about it. Can't do nothing about it. Now look at 2 Ezra 5 and verse 8. There shall be a confusion. It's on page 18. 2 Ezra 5 and 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and minstrels women shall bring forth monsters. And there's going to be the ones that say they're human. I'm a human being. Going to be monster beings. They're not going to be the children of Israel. Say, minstrels women shall bring forth monsters. See? And that's what we see in the day's time. I mean, these little children know more than some adults might know. Really. In wickedness, I'm saying. the things that they're doing and creating, that they're doing. And even in California, the law is, if a boy go to school, say he's a girl, he'll be a girl. Girl go to school, say I'm a boy, she could be a boy. Ain't got to say nothing to the parents at all. Change their name and all that. That's the world we in. Going to the opposite sex bathroom and all of that. That's why he brought a little child that was humble, that was full of the Spirit, knowing that he's going to grow up to be in the Spirit and not be wicked like these children are today, a lot of them. That's why when you read Ezekiel 9:4, it says children. He's going to kill everyone. They don't have this mark. And it say children. Don't get it twisted. Let's look at it so you know I'm not just saying that, because a lot of you say, oh, that's cruel. Take it up with the Most High. I will say you don't fear the Most High. Look. Ezekiel 9:4. Then the Most High said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, wherever we are, it's the 12 tribes of Israel, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Those that have in their minds inquiring sign against all this filthy wickedness that I just named, just an inkling of all the wickedness that's happening right now. So these are the men in the foreheads that's crying, sighing against all this madness. He said, and to the others, these ones that's not sighing and crying, was down with all this wickedness, he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, wherever they are, and smite. He said, kill them. Go to the city and kill them. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young people, old people, but both maids, young women, and little children, because women going to bring minstrels, women going to bring forth monsters. And we living in that time now. You know what it said? Little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom the mark. It began at my sanctuary. It began with the children of Israel first. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. We'll start with the ancient ones and going to work his way into all the ones he just named to kill. Don't get it twisted, people. This is real. This is the real deal. That's prophecy. It's going to happen. Look at Mark 9. I'm going to start at verse 33. Mark 9 and 33. It says, and he came to Capernaum, and being in the house, he asked them, what was it that ye disputed among yourselves by the way? So what was y'all going back and forth arguing about? But they held their peace. They didn't want to tell him. For by the way, they had disputed among themselves who should be the greatest. Right? They disputed among themselves, like I said, which one is going to be the greatest? Who's going to be the greatest? And he sat down and called the 12 and said unto them, if any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all, a servant of all. And he took a child and set him in the midst of them. And when he had taken him in his arms, he said unto them, whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name, receiveth me. And whosoever shall receive me, receiveth not me, but him that sent me. You receive the Father. Now here come, remember they already disputing about who the greatest. Now here come the big question. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils, Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the anointed Savior. And he followed not us. He wasn't in our camp. He wasn't in our church. And he followed not us. And we forbade him because he followed not us. Because he ain't in our camp. You see? He ain't in our church. So we told him, you can't be doing that. Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua, because you ain't with our camp. And the Mashiach Yahushua said, forbid him not. For there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name, Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua, that can lightly speak evil of me. Let you know. All you out there that's using his name, and you probably able to do miracles. He says, there's no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. They can't speak evil of him. Because you coming in his name. How you going to speak evil of him? For he that is not against us is on our part. See, if you ain't against him, you say you on their part. And that's very important because you're going to have those that's going to be doing the things thinking that they're doing the will of the Most High or whatever, and doing miracles. And so much that if it were possible, it's that it might fool the very elect. So look at Matthew 7 and 21. Matthew 7:21. Not every one that saith unto me, Mashiach Yahushua shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven, the will of the Most High, is to believe on the Mashiach Yahushua and to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, do his rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? That's what he said. Not every one that saith unto me, Mashiach Yahushua shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. What's the will of the Most High? To keep his commandments. Many will say to me in that day of judgment, Mashiach, have we not prophesied? Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua. That's why you got to look at this. Because he said, those that do miracles cannot speak evil of him in his name. But they're going to be doing this. This is what they say. They're going to say before him at the time of judgment. And we all going to meet the judgment seat of Mashiach Yahushua. Many will say to me in that day, Mashiach, have we not prophesied? Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Yeshaya, Bahashem Jesus Christ, or whatever name you use. In the name of the anointed Savior, we prophesied in your name. And Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua have cast out devils. And Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua done many wonderful works. Meaning they're going to be doing these things. Else they wouldn't stand before him and say the things that they're saying. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Say, get away from me, you that sin and work iniquity, you wicked people. But they're going to confess before him the things. That's why it's very dangerous. Why it tells you, go to Matthew, the 24th chapter. And we're going to show you that it's very important that we look at this because this is dangerous. In verse 11, see, Matthew 24:11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So letting us know that false prophets going to rise and they're going to deceive many. Many people are going to be deceived by false prophets. A lot of people just like to hear people talk. You ain't taking notes. Whenever you come up to answering the questions that you're going to be giving tests on, you don't know because you don't take notes. You said because iniquity shall abound, going to be plentiful. Wickedness going to be in the earth as we see it today. Women bringing forth monsters, and them monsters growing up to be adult monsters. The love of many shall wax cold. People cold-blooded right now, real cold. But he that endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. It's going to be saved. It says in verse 21, it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. Talk about our time. No, not ever. No, nor ever shall be. Because after this time, it's done. It's done. And except those days should be shortened, he ain't shortened these days that we living in now, there should no flesh be saved. All the things they plan on doing. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. For the elect's sake, he said he's going to shorten the days. Yep. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Mashiach. He's over here or there. Believe him not. Don't believe him. For there shall arise many false Mashiachims and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. See, remember they said, we did many miracles and wonders and signs in thy name. So they're going to show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. He said, behold, I have told you before. So if it were possible, going to deceive the very elect. Been many things that have come my way. I wasn't deceived. That's why you got to stay in this word and believe this word. And look at all the things already that's been done. But you don't know if you don't know what already been done in the world as far as according to the scriptures and not according to his story, but our story, which is in this Bible. Certain things still repeating itself. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Here it comes. Hey, look, come on over here with me. Nah. You go on over there and be by yourself. Or get whoever you're going to follow you. Like I said, you can go to hell any way you want to. Don't try and take me with you. That's to anyone. Look at Mark 9:33. And he came. Oh, we already went to, we don't know that. I went there already. Mark 10:43. Let me read this is a story about who's going to sit on one of this. They wanted to know they could sit on his right hand. James and John, the sons of Zebedee, they came to him in verse 37. In Mark 10, they said unto him, grant unto us, he asked him, what do you want? He asked him, grant unto us that we may sit one on thy right hand and the other on thy left hand in thy glory. One want to sit on his right hand, one want to sit on his left hand in his glory. Remember, they already talking about, as you understand what we're dealing with, who's going to be the greatest. Now James and John, the sons of Zebedee, want to say, hey, I want to sit on your right hand and one to go sit on your left hand. right? In the glory of Mashiach Yahushua when he come and set up a righteous kingdom on this earth. But Mashiach Yahushua said unto them, ye know not what ye ask. Can you drink of the cup that I drink of, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? And they said unto him, we can. Mashiach Yahushua said unto them, ye shall indeed drink the cup that I drink of, and with the baptism that I am baptized withal shall ye be baptized. But to sit on my right hand and on my left hand is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared. See? So it's going to be given to them to whom it was prepared. And when the 10 heard it, they began to be much displeased with James and John as part of one of the 10, because it was 12 of them. So the other 10 was displeased with James and John for, asking to be on his right hand and on his left hand. But the Mashiach called them to him and said unto them, ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. This is key right here, verse 43. But so shall it not be but so shall it not be among you. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister. And whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. You're going to have to put in some work. You're going to be servant of all, the chiefest. Luke 9 and 46. Luke 9 and 46. Same story. Then there arose a reason among them, which of them should be greatest. And the Mashiach, perceiving thought of their heart, took a child and set him by him. And said unto them, whosoever shall receive this child in my name, Ba'asham Mashiach receiveth me, and whosoever shall receive me, receiveth him that sent me, going to receive the Most High. For he that is least among you all, the same shall be great. Now he's making an analysis of those that are least among you, the same going to be great. Again, Luke 14 and 10. But when thou art bidden, go and, let me go up a little bit, because this is like, if you're bidden, let's look at verse 7. Luke 14 and 7. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, he checked them out, how they chose the best rooms. And he said to them, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. Like you're going to come up there and sit in the best seats, and then somebody come in that has more honor than you, and what happens? And he that bade thee, and him come and say to thee, give this man place, give him your seat. Get out of the seat. Give this man your seat. And thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. You want to go up to the highest room, but you be shamed. Then you got to take the lowest room. But when thou art bidden, this is humility. When thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say to thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with me. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased. You want to exalt yourself? So you're going to bring you down. And he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. But see, this world is contrary to that. I was listening where they were saying, people that's real arrogant, people like that kind of spirit in this world now. But the humble cat, they like push them to the side like they want to talk about them. Like there's something wrong with them. This world is opposite. It's set up to send you straight to hell. At least make you the least in the kingdom of heaven. Luke 14:11. Whosoever exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbled himself shall be exalted. Got to humble yourself. Look at Luke, the 17th chapter, and look at verse 6. Because the apostle asked Mashiach Yahushua to increase their faith. And Mashiach Yahushua said, if ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed. That's a mustard seed is so small it can fit under your little bitty nail. It's really, really tiny. Ye might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey thee. It should obey you. But which of you, having a servant plowing or feeding cattle, will say unto him by and by, when he is come from the field, go and sit down to meat? He's been working all day for you. You say, which one are you going to tell servant? Go and sit down to meat. And will not rather say unto him, make ready wherewith I may sup. Go in there and fix my food, and gird thyself, and serve me till I have eaten and drunken. And afterward thou shalt eat and drink. You got to serve them first. Does he thank that servant because he did the things that were commanded him? I trow not. So likewise ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which we have done that which was our duty to do. Just like that's how Ezra was. He considers himself an unprofitable servant with the wicked. When you look at 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, perfect example, which is marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. Not claiming that you're all that in the bag of chips, as they say. But falling into the mindset of Ezra. In 2nd Ezra 7:50. And that there is promised us, he put himself in everlasting hope, which is to Israel, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, see ourselves, he put himself in there, being most wicked, are made vain. This is what he's saying. We are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. This is what Ezra is saying. Verse 51, and that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we, including himself, have lived wickedly. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we, put himself there, have walked in the most wicked ways of all. You see this? This is what the Most High wants us to do as an example that works. And that there shall be showed a paradise whose fruit endures forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. See? For we have walked in unpleasant places, and at the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. See? This is what works. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.